Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video. Sam says goodbye to everyone she loves. Sam says her final goodbyes to everyone she loves, while Curtis makes Steve an offer he can't refuse. Thursday, October 24, 2024. Today on General Hospital, Sam and her loved ones prepare for surgery. Brad and Lucas start to thaw, and Curtis makes a proposition to Stephen. Please note that if you purchase something by clicking on a link within this story, we may receive a small commission of the sale. General Hospital spoilers, October 28, November 1. On today's General Hospital, Alexis and Danny both look proud as they finish eating, and Scout says how big a deal it is that Mom is saving someone's life. Scout goes to wash her hands, and Alexis tells Rocco's a good big brother. He steps up every time she needs him. I think you're awesome, and so does your mom. Brennan's on the phone with Carly asking why she's avoiding him. He needs to see her ASAP. She says it's not a good time, and he insists it's important. Trust me, so is this. Carly hangs up and walks into Sam's room, asking how she is. She says it'll take a miracle for Lulu to pull through, but she's got a chance because of Sam. If you need anything, please tell me. Sam smiles, saying Carly didn't come in for a chat. She wants something. Like always. Yeah, I do. I wanted to say thank you. Sam stares at her, chuckling, and admits Carly surprises her. But before they can bond too much, Brennan walks in, looking for Carly. Sonny greets Jason in his office, makes some pleasantries about Sam's big day, then demands to know what happened in Africa. Jason fills Sonny in on Sidwell, Lucky, and the WSB intervention. They got Lucky out, and Holly was there. She had the diamond, he asks. Sonny says diamonds, plural. She has enough for him to know she's trouble, the kind of trouble that might be worth it. The haul will likely be around $100 million, and Sonny wants to work with her. Jason warns him that Sidwell's still alive and is in the US, probably looking for Holly. Jason says it was his mistake to leave Sidwell alive. Sonny says if they get it done fast, they can get Holly away before Sidwell connects things. But he's got places to be and leaves, just as Carly calls Jason. Brennan pulls Carly outside, and she lays into him about pulling her away, while Lulu's about to go under. Great, but he needs her first to get Jason to cooperate. He's got vital information about the Lucky Spencer operation. Carly isn't inclined to help him, until Brennan tells her about Sidwell coming to the US, likely for Anna and Jason, and the extraction she asked him to help with is about to become a full-blown international incident. Why did you help me? If she has to ask, she's not as smart as she seems. It was chivalry, but she doubts that. Jason walks up, annoyed that Carly didn't mention Brennan when she called. She needs a favor for both of them. Jack needs to know what happened, all the details. He saved Jason's life, so she and Jason both owe him. Please help him. She leaves the two alone. Laura holds Lulu's hand, reassuring her that she'll be there. They all will, she adds as Dante and Rocco open the door. She tells Rocco that now's the time to say something to his mom before surgery. Rocco sits down with her. Dante and Laura wonder if she'll recognize him when she wakes up, as the teen puts his cross-country medal in his mom's hand. He never gives up, and he got that from Lulu. Don't give up now. In the locker room, Isaiah is standing with his eyes closed when Lucas walks by in a towel. Isaiah's visualizing the surgery, and they both say they're ready for it. Isaiah walks off, leaving Lucas to find a cinnamon roll in his locker with a note. He starts eating as Brad walks in, saying he always needed Eckerts before operating, unless he's hungry for something else. Lucas is horrified Brad was in his locker, saying he made his boundaries clear. He just had some food left over and wanted to be supportive. He'll take it back. But Lucas says he already took a bite, steps back, and drops his towel. Relax, it's nothing I haven't seen before. Lucas looks uncomfortable as he walks out. More. Steve Burton's son makes his stage debut. Out in the waiting room, Dante suggests Rocco should get to school. He doesn't want to go though. So Dante says if Sam gives the okay, he can stay and do schoolwork. Isaiah walks over as they leave, and Laura asks if everything's okay. They talk about the risks, but Laura tells the doc that if he gives her the chance, she will win. Rick sits down with Heather in the prison meeting room. She laments missing Alexis and says she wouldn't mind winning something. Rick tells her the judge vacated her sentence. She's going free. She's dumbfounded. Are you messing with me? No halfway house, parole officer, ankle monitor. Nothing. She's totally free. Heather gets up, shouting, and hugs Rick, thanking him profusely. She's going to make the most of her second chance. That's great, but it may take some time to get money from the HIP settlement, so she's got to support herself in the meantime. She doesn't want to think about that now. Fine, but she needs to find somewhere to stay. She mentions Laura or Alexis, but Rick says they both have a crisis right now. Connected to each other. Think. Is there anyone you can call? Liz tells Portia she heard about Heather and asks if she can help. If Plan A fails, I may take you up on that offer. Liz asks what Plan A is. She doesn't get an answer, as Portia says they need to focus on the transplant, not Heather. Curtis is taking care of her. Liz warns her to be careful. Isaiah comes over to help himself to some Eckerts, but is called away before he can eat. Brad wanders over, promising to hold one for the doc, then tells Liz and Portia he's got to leave his shift early to go to a baseball game. Liz is dumbfounded, but Brad makes a veiled comment to Portia, and she looks a bit sick and tells him to have fun. They're talking about Brad as Lucas walks over and makes a crack about Brad's pastries, causing amnesia among the staff about him. In his office, Curtis greets Steve, Heather Weber's prodigal son. Steve tells Curtis he's not a doctor anymore and asks why he asked to see him in person. He doesn't plan on staying long. Port Charles has a lot of bad memories. Curtis tells him that when Steve leaves, he wants him to take his mom with him. I was really hoping this trip had nothing to do with Heather. Curtis fills Steve in on Heather's release. He stands up in shock. What do you want from me? Curtis just wants him to take Heather far away from Port Charles, but Steve doesn't. So Curtis says he'll make it worth his while. Steve's not sure he could get her if he wanted to. He can't drag her out of Port Charles. Curtis is sure she'll go willingly. Laura will cut access to Ace off eventually, and all she'll have left is Steve. Steve still doesn't want to be responsible for her. So Curtis warns if not, he'll be responsible for what's left of her. He wants to protect his family and Steve needs to be with his. Curtis will supplement Steve's income until he can stand on his own 2 feet. It's that or the alternatives, which are much less pleasant. After thinking, Heather calls Liz and asks if she can pick her up from prison for Franco's sake. Rick shows up and Liz tells him to take Heather. He admits he doesn't like the idea of her and Aiden sharing their home with Heather. But he could move in too. They'd both laugh. That's the opposite of helping, she tells him. Lucas finds Brad about to leave and asks if he manipulated his way back into his job. People are saying he played Terry. Brad says he mentioned Pritt's name. He's not proud, but he needed a job. He's doing the best he can. Lucas gently reminds him of the last time they went to see the Chucks and walks off. Rocco, Scout, and Alexis arrive to cheer Sam on in a big happy family moment. Sunny walks in a short time later, and they all talk about how proud they are of her. Danny says she's a real hero. Dante and Rocco then show up, and Rocco thanks Sam for saving his mom's life. I don't know how I'll ever be able to repay you. Sam starts crying as she tells all of my people how good they've been to her. She's just glad she can return the favor. Everyone holds back tears. In the show's final moments, Brennan asks Jason if there's more to his adventure. Jason fills him in on Holly stealing a fortune of diamonds from Sidwell. Steer clear of Sidwell. Then asks Jason to thank Carly. Jason, in turn, warns Brennan not to hurt Carly. Bad things happen to those who do. Heather steps cautiously out of the prison gates, delighted to see Liz show up. But then Steve walks over. She's elated, but all he says is, "Hello, Mother." Portia gets off the phone with Marshall just as Curtis shows up. He smiles and nods, and she goes over to joyfully hug him. It took some convincing, but Stephen will do it. Heather won't be able to resist. It's over, baby. It's finally over. But as Portia's celebrating, Brad walks by. Sam's being wheeled into surgery as everyone she loves says one final goodbye, telling her they all love her so much. Laura thanks her and Dante gives her a final kiss. Jason then walks out of the elevator and tells Sam she's got this. Piece of cake. Sam holds back tears. Lucas walks over and tells his sis the operating room is ready, and she calls that she loves them all as she's wheeled away. Next on General Hospital, Liz gets a good surprise. Anna stops by to check on Laura, and Diane's gobsmacked.